With the 2010s winding down, there have been an absolute compilation of lists, videos, titles, all trying to decide what is the best this of the year, what is the best that of the year, especially in the anime community where everyone wants to know what was the best anime of the decade, what was the best anime fight of the decade, what is the best animation of the decade. And I've seen all of these what is the best, and I've decided to take it upon myself to decide what is the worst. Because I feel like if we have the best anime, then we should know what the worst anime, because some anime has to hold that L. So I've done the math, ran the number, compiled list, and I have decided what is the absolute worst anime of the decade. I promise you that I never thought I would find something this gross, disgusting, and vile of an anime to come out in the 2010s. And for me, oh my god, bro. Before I go in on this anime, the anime goes by the name of B Gotta H Kai. And for those of you that know, you know. And let me just explain the premise to you real fast. Okay, so the basic premise of the show is about this average high school girl who just wants to do the usual high school girls love do. They just want to hang out, have fun, and get their cheeks beaten by 100 guys at their school. Wait, what?
Be gone, fucks!
Honestly, I wish I was kidding. Like, that's literally the whole premise of the show, is helping her lose her V card so she can achieve her dream of being beaten by over 100 guys. It sounds weird, I know, but for some reason this got published as an anime by Funimation. I don't know what they had going on over there in Japan, but they like this stuff, so I guess they got green lighted. And also, along with the show, they have certain premises that she has to lose her V card first because, you know, she's too nervous, and she has to find more things like self-discovery. Like, she has to be more confident in herself to go out and try to do things like that. Find guys. She has friends, and they have their own problems, drama, issues. She finds guys that like her. And there's this one dude that she likes, and they're having this whole back and forth thing going on. He's awkward, he's weird, and she's the guy that she's trying to lose that to. And it's a really weird show, but that's the basic premise. And she's just gotta lose her card in order to be with 100 more guys. And it's a really weird show, I promise you, but that's what she wanted, and that's the premise. Okay, so now with everything about the premise out the way, and you guys know basically what's going on from a quick little synopsis from your boy Timepiece, I think it's time for me to explain what I absolutely disdain. First off, a large part of that for me that I hate is the comedy somewhat, you know, because it's supposed to be a rom-com ecchi, but it's not funny, if you know what I mean, right? Because y'all know that one scene from Big Mouth that everybody hates a lot. For you don't know, Big Mouth is that extremely hated and critically acclaimed show because it has a lot of rated moments that we should not discuss. But one of those is when one of the female characters decides to talk to their own. And man, when Twitter saw that, they went nuts, bro. And let me tell you, this anime, like, it has basically this exact same scene where on the very first episode, she goes and puts a mirror, and bro, it was so disgusting, bro. Like, I just don't get, like, who off rip thought this was a good idea to put in this anime, bro. Like, I know it's not a kid's show, but it's certainly not something adults would find interesting, bro, or appealing, bro. That was some mid right there, and and nothing can redeem how mid and how weird that was just to see that we're watching that episode off. Like, I had to watch this whole series. And you know what? To be honest, the characters really aren't any better. Like, that's another part I hate about the show, because they're all either flat or two-dimensional, and they add nothing. Like, Yamada, that's the main character, the chick I was talking about, and her whole thing is she wants to be a thot, okay? And we get it, and it's kind of repeated over and over and over again. Like, I heard in the manga she actually changes and become a lot more mature, but overall in the show, she really doesn't learn too many lessons or grows up at all. She just really keeps trying over and over and over and over to be. It's just gross. Like, it's weird. Like, I know that's the whole premise of the show, and if I'm going to that show for that, I should just be ready to accept that, and that's what the character's gonna be. I shouldn't expect any growth or change every single anime, but still, it would have been nice to, even though it's a rom-com, you know, get a little bit change or serious to make it at least interesting with your garbage premise. You have to do something to make your premise appealing. And the boy that she was trying to talk to the whole show, that guy, he was really flat. His whole thing was that he was shy and nervous, and he just didn't know how to talk to Yamada, and it was really weird. Like, he kind of just folded and went along with whatever Yamada said. He never really went out of his way to beef up or get more clout behind him. He was just a boring character who folded to whatever Yamada wanted, and overall was silent and didn't add much to the show. It would have been interesting if he maybe was like, hey, I don't like how you're preying on me, and I don't like how you're attacking on me. But no, he kind of just sat there, took and accepted all of it. I get as a teenage boy, if a girl trying to pull up on you, you're not gonna say no automatically. But it was still just flat and boring just to see him accept every little thing that came to him. Like, it really sucked for me. And the side characters didn't make it any better, because she had her busty friend who had a older boyfriend, and I guess she was a little bit more mature and tried to help Yamada, but other than that, she didn't add anything to the show, because in the end, what did she really add? To be honest, the most interesting character in that whole show, like the whole most interesting dynamic, was like the little cloud character that served as Yamada's conscience. And that was as funny as the show gets, really, because it was there for that whole little scene that I mentioned earlier where she used the mirror or whatever in it. I guess that made it at least somewhat funny, but as far as comedy goes, like, other than that cloud talking and adding on a little bit extra commentary to the show to make fun of her or whatever, it wasn't really all that funny. Like, that, it's sad when your side character that barely means anything is the funniest character in your show. Like, you have to add something to your show that makes not only something to the side funny, but it's not a rom-com if not everything is funny, you know? Like, I feel like that whole show was just mid and didn't pan out to be as good as it's supposed to be. Like, I will pick up the manga. Some people say it's a lot better and has a lot better ending, and there's actual lessons learned in that. But that whole anime overall just sucked. And, like, based off the premise alone, could make it the worst anime of the decade. But with every other part of the show being just that mid, B Gotta H Kai is the worst, absolutely the worst anime of the decade.